Hey guys! I'm so excited to be in here with you making super easy and super delicious, like it's just like silly how good it is, Chinese cabbage. This is one of those recipes that the first time I had it, I don't know exactly what it was that they served, but this was like my knockoff version of it. But I figured like, oh, I bet this is going to be so hard to replicate, and then I tried. And again, I don't really know what they did where I had it, but this is just so good, and it's like, I don't know, it may be even one of the easiest, it may be the easiest thing we've ever made together in here, so that's really exciting. Oh wow, Facebook is giving me so many choices. Hey Maite! Anyway, so I'm gonna keep my little intro for the middle because like while it's cooking, then I'll talk to you guys more. But I'd love to, say hi, tell me where you're from, and if you have any questions. So this is just super delicious. Now I want to show you something. Okay, I'm gonna prop you guys up in your little spot. Hey Hootie. Okay, so here we have our cabbage. Now I want you to notice something. This is like kind of a sad looking cabbage, isn't it? It's not a perfect looking cabbage. That's okay, we don't care. I'll show you why. We're also going to be using tamari, which is basically just a really good quality soy sauce. I definitely recommend getting organic soy sauce and not like getting like the yucky Kikkoman, whatever, don't use that. And toasted sesame oil. That's like the magic. That's the whole thing. Here we go. So first, now, I got this cabbage because I was thinking of you guys and wanted to do this recipe. And because I saw it was like a really good deal. Like sometimes it's annoying. Sometimes organic cabbage is like not for such a great price. And I'm just like, oh, that's so annoying. Cabbage is supposed to be inexpensive. But it was like a little sad looking, but I don't care. Because look, the magic of cabbage is you can just like take off the outside sad layers, and look, now I have a happy cabbage. Hey Sarah. So that's the magic of cabbages. They go either way. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Because remember, this recipe, the cabbage is cooked, and I'll tell you why. Because, well, first of all, because that's what the recipe calls for, and so, well, I decided it does. So first I'm just gonna, I don't even think of the best way. I'm cutting off the bottom little area just because it looks a little sad down there. But the way you cut it honestly doesn't really matter. But the reason why I for sure want to cook it is because now cabbage is super duper healthy. Has a lot of vitamin C, a lot of really good fiber. And so that's really good. Fiber is really good for regularity. Oh, look. Okay, so this side when I cut it, there's no of the heart in it, right? See, like this side has the whole heart thing. You can't see it over there, but you can see it here. Okay, anyway, so look, I cut it in half, and now I'm going to cut it in half again. You don't have to. I don't always do that. But look, now I'm just placing it in the steamer. See, that's the bottom of the steamer. I'm just like placing it in like this. Boom. So, I mean, if you want, you could throw it in like that, but I think it does make a difference if you put it in like kind of face down like that. But yeah. So I didn't turn on the fire yet. And now I'm cutting it in half again one more time. The only reason I'd recommend trying to have like sort of the same size pieces that you're cutting up is so that they cook like equally instead of like, oh, half of it's done and now you have a huge chunk that still needs to sit in there. That's just annoying. Okay, so now there's the heart. I'm just going to cut that out just because it's like annoying. There's nothing wrong with it health-wise. It's just when you try and eat it and cook it, like it's just like it makes all the pieces stick together. And one of the funnest parts of eating cabbage for me, at least, okay, I cut it out, is that it kind of just like falls apart the way you want it to. Okay, so now the other pieces are kind of just like sticking in wherever they're gonna fit. Now I'm adding water. See? I told you guys I got a new filter, so that's exciting. Here, you wanna see my filter? I mean, I still think it's new because I've been like wanting to get it for I don't know how long. Okay, here's the thing, and I'm just pouring the water in. I'm gonna do like 2 big cups like that. Oh wow, it's really hot in the pipes, and so even the water coming out of the sink and then through the filter is kind of like warm, whatever. Okay, so now I'm putting it on high. I have to find the top actually. I thought I had it. I thought I had it. Okay, it's somewhere underneath here. Oh gosh, now you guys want to see on my crazy little kitchen. Oh no, where's the top? Okay, I'm actually just gonna use the wrong size top if I don't find it in 1 second. See, I don't know. See, the awesome part about having cleaning help is you have cleaning help, but then the less awesome part is when you can't find anything afterwards. So, whatever. Okay, we're putting the wrong size top on. Oh, I did get the top out. It was hiding behind it. Here it is. Okay, now the top's on. Now I'll tell you. I actually can hold it because I'm not cutting anymore. Okay, so it's on high. You want to have the fire on high. The truth is, it's probably a good idea to even make the fire get hot first, like have the water get boiling first. It's only going to make things go, oh snap. Every time I sit there, that happens. The light gets weird. If you put the fire on first, that's probably a good idea. If I was thinking, I would have done that. I usually don't do that just because I don't think that far in advance. But this is going to work too. Okay, so the reason why we really wanted to cook the cabbage, I know a lot of people know that cabbage is really healthy. It has vitamin C and it has fiber, and like people always just like it's part of the cruciferous vegetables, and like the really crunchy ones. Basically like cauliflower and kale and broccoli and cabbage and Brussels sprouts, those are like in the same family. If you've watched any of the videos on those other recipes, like for broccoli or cauliflower or Brussels sprouts or kale, excuse me, you'll probably notice that I do always talk about cooking those. And that's because they are super healthy, and they're also goitrogenic, which is a big word. That means it contains a chemical called a goitrogen. Really confused? That helps, right? And it always makes me laugh when people like translate things into other words that are not helpful. Like tefillin, which is like Jewish like prayer things that men wear. I see it translated as phylacteries, as if that, like for someone who doesn't know what tefillin is, I don't think that phylacteries is like, oh, now I know what that is. Anyways, so saying like that a goitrogenic vegetable has goitrogens is I feel like pretty not helpful. But anyways, it's a chemical compound that can negatively impact your thyroid. So it's not something that I'm like overly concerned about. We don't have thyroid problems in my family, and so like I'll eat it. Like if I went to your house and you were serving a cabbage salad and it looked really good, I would eat it. But I don't like make it in my house unless unless like all my salad went bad and it was all I had or something. But generally speaking, like, it's not a staple by any stretch. I won't do, raw cabbage salads. They'll always be the exception, whether I'm having them out or for whatever random reason I make one. But because when you cook it or ferment it, and then we'll talk about fermenting for a second, when you cook it, the goitrogens are neutralized, and when you ferment it, the goitrogens are neutralized. So that's why if I'm having cabbage, I'll always have it either cooked or fermented. Fermentation also brings out a lot of the vitamins and whatever, but that's a whole other topic. We're going to do a whole like course on fermentation soon, because people, I don't know, I did a random post about how much I love kombucha, but I'm too lazy to make it bubbly. And then everyone was like, oh, me too, I love kombucha, let's talk about it. So we're going to do that. Anyway, so now it's just steaming. When you make this, if you want to make it look better, sorry, my nose keeps itching. Remember that Seinfeld episode? For those of you who watch Seinfeld, where, I don't know, Jerry's like itching his nose or something, and from like the car next to him, it looks like he's picking his nose. Anyways, I hope you guys can tell I'm just itching my nose. Anyways, moving right along here. When you serve this, you want to make it look really nice, you can throw in like a handful of baby carrots too, and then there's just like some more color on the plate and it looks more like visually appealing. Like that's how I did it in the picture for you, because otherwise just like cabbage in a bowl is like not so exciting looking. We happened to finish our baby carrots yesterday, so I didn't throw them in the bowl this time, but you certainly can. I'm just waiting for it to cook now. But I'm thinking, do you guys have any questions? What should I be telling you about right now? Oh, I know what I want to tell you about. I want to give you a little intro, because there's a lot of new members, which is really exciting, and there's a lot of old members who probably have never heard the intro. But I want to say it now while it's cooking, while we're waiting for it, because I'd like to actually be able to have it finished so I can show you what it looks, show you how it looks. That's how the sentence is supposed to be. But okay, so the reason why I think it's worth listening to this, in addition to just being like strategic and wanting to know how to do these things, is I'm a nutritionist, and I'm a strategic nutritionist, which means that I teach my clients how to use really simple and delicious foods as very, very effective medicine. The gardener's here. I hear him outside. And so I've helped hundreds of clients. I've been doing this for, I don't know, like 8 years, a little more than 8 years, I think. 8 years, yes. Heal all kinds of hormone imbalances, so whether skin or PMS issues or PCOS or even fertility issues, all kinds of indigestion, whether that's like tending towards constipation or the other. I know people love talking about that. You know, hair issues, skin, digestion, I'm trying to think, mood, all those things, energy. Energy is huge. Almost every client that comes in is usually like, I'm tired, fix me. And so I just think this food stuff is amazing. Not honestly because I'm such a foodie, as you can probably tell, I'm always looking for like the easy way out. But because it's just so powerful, makes it such a profound difference. And so I hope that these like tools and hacks in this recipe today is really helpful for you, and that you can pick it up and be able to like get really easy, healthy, easy vegetables on the table all the time. And that in general, the recipes in here are really helpful because it's definitely my intention that I want to make being healthy easy for people. And that's what I do for my clients and what I'm trying to do for you guys in here too. So if you guys have any questions, you certainly can ask them now while we're chatting, whatever, if this is called chatting. Or you can feel free to private message me and I'm here for you. So now let's check. I don't know if it's really been like 6 or 7 minutes, how long it's supposed to be, but let's just look how it looks, okay? Let me flip this around if I can remember how to do that. Because Facebook changed how it's working right now. Okay, yeah. Okay, so there's my little steamer. And see how it's looking in there. There it is. Okay, you probably shouldn't do this, but I'm just going to poke it. Oh, it's actually coming along quite nicely. I could take it out. By the way, if you don't have like a separate steaming thing like that, that's fine. I happen to have one because it came in my set. I can't say I would have bought it on its own because it just seems like relatively useless. I don't steam things all the time. As you know, I mostly saute. But I would just, if I, okay, let me flip it around again. So if you don't have one or you can't find it, like I couldn't find my top before I found it, the top of the pot, my shirt I found obviously, you can just put like an inch of water or something in the bottom of a pot and then do it like that. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put it on a plate and show you, look, I'm throwing away the funky pieces, the sad looking pieces. We want our meal to look happy. And we're gonna put the dressing on it and it's gonna be amazing. And you guys are gonna be so happy. Okay, I'm going to do a real plate, because last times when I didn't, then I don't know, I just like felt like I was giving you guys the experience of having a nice looking plate of awesome veggies. Okay, so now, okay, I'm going to scoop it out with a spoon. I'll show you like how much it's giving so you know what to kind of look for. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take out a few of the pieces because it's not all done, but I don't want you guys like to have to wait. Okay, look at that. Hold on there. You see that? 1 second. So this one, I don't know. I think if you're going to really let it do the whole thing properly, it probably takes like 10 or 12 minutes. On the written recipe, which I'll post right after this on top, I said like 6 minutes per side or just 12 minutes. I've honestly never done it like per side and flipped it over. Ever. I've been making this for years and I've never done that, but I know that like fancy chefs will tell you to do that, so I told you guys if you want to do that you can. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I wound up taking out the ingredients. Okay, so I just took out the top pieces so I can show you how I dress it, which of course you're going to laugh because it's very simple. But also the truth is this is very true to life, because often when I make this, we're really excited to eat it and we don't have the patience to wait for the whole thing to be ready. But look, okay, can you see that it's like a little bit wilted, but it still like looks happy, and it still has like a little bit of like it's hard to bend that part. It still has like a little give. You don't want to like overcook it because then it gets kind of like sulfury tasting, smelling, like not exciting. Better to do a little under than a little over. And the only exception to that I would say is if you have like a really intense thyroid condition, then I'd be more like mindful of being careful of always making sure that it's definitely cooked and not having the raw bits. But there you go. Okay, so now we have our toasted sesame oil. You're welcome to measure. As you know, I don't. Okay. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you guys, you're gonna laugh at me. You see, I have 2 earrings in. Can you see that? You can totally laugh at me. Okay, this one I got for my brother's wedding. That like at Macy's, it wasn't a big deal. And these ones actually really have a nice, whatever, interesting memory. My grandparents gave them to my mother when my parents got married. They're no longer married. Well, they are. They're married to other people now, and they're happily married. So everyone should be happy in their marriages. But it's a special thing for me. Okay, you see, I'm talking to you about like my family life as I'm drizzling this. Anyways, I'll tell you why I was excited to wear them, my earrings, because Number one, because it's kind of special. None of my grandparents are in this world anymore. But also, I'll tell you, a big part of my life recently, if we're going to get all personal, has been really trying to incorporate the different parts of myself and not be like a disjointed person. And I don't feel like I'm just babbling too, because I think this is actually relevant. Maybe not to cabbage, but to health. Because it's super valuable. I'm getting text messages, sorry. Okay. A big part of our health is extremely connected to our mental and emotional state. And so I'm a big supporter, besides just because it's nice to have feel like an integrated person, but I'm a big supporter from a health perspective of just feeling like a whole person and not like a person cut into 1,000 pieces or 10 pieces, whatever you might feel. And recently for me, I've been kind of picking up the parts of myself that I sort of felt like I don't know, left behind or ditched or just stopped taking care of or ignored when I first became religious 10 years ago. And one of the things I did is I stopped wearing my second earring hole. I don't know, I thought it was too racy or something. Now that makes me laugh. I'm like, too racy, it's an earring hole. I mean, I'm not laughing at someone else who feels that way, and I feel like to each their own. But for me, I feel like that was such a silly thing to kind of push myself to do. And so it's been feeling really good to wear my second earring hole again. I feel like it's just kind of re-embracing a part of me. The part of me that got my second earring hole when I was 13 at the mall with my best friend Devin and her mom Phoebe, who I both love very dearly and would love to see. Anyways, so there you go. I think it's relevant. You can laugh if you want. But I do think it's relevant. I'm not just being silly with you guys. I think that anyways, here, you want to see the plate while I tell you more about my personal life? Okay. So that may not look so amazing, but let me tell you, it is amazing, and you should make it, and you should try it, and then you can report back to me and be like, oh my gosh, this really is amazing. And also it looks better when you take out the whole piece. Should I show you? I'll show you. I'll take out one more piece so you can see, even if it's not totally done, we'll just pretend. It's done enough, it's fine. Okay, and I'm gonna dress that last little piece, and you'll see that it maybe looks a little more appealing. I don't know. But here we go. I'll prop you guys up one more time. One more time. Okay, can you see that it looks a little better? I don't know. I can't even see the bottom of my page because it's getting all the notifications. Ah! Phone's falling. Okay. Anyway, so again, you just do the same thing. You just I would drizzle it in the cap first, because unless you have one of those special bottles that it comes out slowly. But do that. And look, I have a bunch of left over here. I'll just pour it on. And it goes in. Look, I'm gonna flip it so you can see it. And I don't know. I'm feeling like it doesn't look impressive, but it's so good. I promise you guys, it's so good. I told my 8-year-old I was making this. He's like, oh my gosh, please make a lot. I want to eat it all. And I mean, he is my kid, so he does have a taste for these kinds of things. But he also definitely asks for Slurpees and stuff like that. So he's not a freak of nature by any stretch. Anyway, so yes, that's what I have to say about the cabbage. The cabbage is great. Cabbage is great in general. Has a lot of vitamin C. Has some phosphorus. Has some sulfur. Has good fiber, which is great for digestion if you're cooking it and if you tend towards constipation. If you're a person who your stomach kind of hurts all the time, then cabbage is not the best thing for you because it's actually difficult to break down. However, if you cook it like this, or you have it fermented, you get awesome sauerkraut, which I can teach you how to make, and I will at one point in a course. But you can also buy really good ones Ori Leo has an awesome sauerkraut brand named Brassica and Brine. There are other good ones, but his is my favorite, so there's a plug for my friend. Those ones are great and won't hurt your stomach unless you have a lot of digestive issues also, which we can talk about, but generally speaking. And of course, I wanted to show you guys my cool second earring hole. But I do think it's very relevant. It really is, and that I really encourage you in your journey towards health. Obviously, you know that I think the food matters because it definitely makes a huge, huge impact, but not to forget the rest of you and your emotions and your relationships and maybe the parts of you that you left beside the road when you were busy doing other things like me. I'm assuming probably at least some of you can relate, and that I think it's really valuable to just go and get yourself wherever you left yourself. Just go and get it. And so that's why I'm here with my little second earring holes. It hurt a little to put them in because I hadn't worn them in a long time. But now I'm so happy wearing them. And feeling more connected to my family because they're for my grandparents. Anyways, lots of healing and putting pieces back together happening right now. So anyways, I'm going to go enjoy this awesome cabbage. I'm actually going to eat some before I bring it to my 8-year-old because then he will finish it all. But now I have more almost done in the pot. See right there. And yeah, so that's that. And yeah, I just hope it's really helpful. I think that having lots of vegetables just on hand that you know how to make really fast and easily makes a huge difference, because I think that, you know, I feel like you don't need me to tell you, oh, you guys should eat more vegetables. Like, thanks, Einstein. But I think it's just that, like, we don't know how to do it fast enough. You know what I mean? Like, we all, like, have great intentions of having lots of vegetables, but then you get home and, like, the bagel bites are in the freezer, and, like, that's just easier. But if you can, like, make this in 3 seconds, or you can make the broccoli or whatever other, you know, lots of awesome stuff I've showed you in here, it just, like, makes it much more doable. And so that's my goal, is to make the healthy stuff easy and doable and yummy, of course, because otherwise, like, ain't nobody got time for that. So yeah, okay, I love you all. And my plan, by the way, is that we're going to do, like, once a week we'll do, I'm not once a week, like, we'll trade off weeks, because I noticed when I put the poll of, like, what do we want to make, anytime there's any kind of treat on the poll, like cookies or cake or whatever, like, that one always wins. And then I get a lot of people messaging me like, hey, I love making the cookies, but can we go back to making, like, more vegetables too? Oh my gosh. I just got a update that there was a terrorist attack in Barcelona. Wow. Okay, well, that's awful. And they have a bunch of, a lot of injured, and I think they said 15 people dead already. Whew. So, I will also add on to our little live here that I want me and you and all of us to do everything we can, and even more than we think we can, because we always can usually do more than we think we can, to make the world better and kinder and more empathic and more wholesome. And so there you go. I think it really actually does pull in me sharing a little about my personal life today, because I think that I feel that these things are so, I mean, this is so intense. I can't believe I'm talking to you guys about this right now, but I have to now. About just addressing that we're people and we're not machines, and that we're influenced. And, you know, one of the biggest impacts in my life, Brene Brown is amazing. Her work is all about empathy and healing shame and how to connect to people in meaningful ways, which is basically all that we really want. And the things that get in the way and what makes that hard. Maybe I'll give you guys a reading list. Recommended reading that may or may not. It won't obviously be all food. And I've had some really good, like, mentors, and that I think that we should focus on our physical and emotional health for us and for the world at large, and that we should be empowered through making these healthy choices to better ourselves and our families and our world right around us and our world across the world, because there's a lot to do, and we can make a difference. So there you go. Signing off, loving you all, and sending my love and prayers for healing for those that are injured. And I don't know what to pray for the people that have just passed. I wish them peace, and this is really intense. Okay, well, I love you guys, and we will talk soon.